Have you seen Project Hail Mary? Have you heard the soundtrack? In today's episode, we're delving into what makes this soundtrack so special. We also talk about the Send Help soundtrack, the Dune Part 3 trailer music, and a whole lot more. So if you also found yourself listening to the Project Hail Mary soundtrack long after you saw it in theaters, you might like this episode. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Are there any other soundtracks we missed this month that we should be listening to? We're trying to build a community of soundtrack fans. So if you love soundtracks, you can be a part of that. But enough of this intro. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back. Apologies for the acoustics in my room right now. I recently moved and I have not set up really anything in this office except my desk and computer. So if it looks like a dorm room in the background with just a random table there, some weights over here, please forgive me for this episode. I'll have it more set up next time.
Steven's new life.
Yes, indeed. But
are we all wearing black t-shirts, by the way?
I think we are.
It's dark blue, actually.
Oh, mine's
it
charcoal.
Looks black. It counts. You're in the club. Oh my gosh, you nerds!
I have a heather charcoal.
Midnight black.
Yeah,
midnight black.
This was not planned, but we are all in sync.
We're gonna cover
I'm the dark side of the force. You're the light side.
There you go.
All right,
yeah.
Carry on.
Anyway, we have a variety of soundtracks we're gonna cover today. I know one of them is one Michael. I believe you speculated about this one before we saw the movie, before the soundtrack came out. We've all seen the movie on that one. That one's Project Hail Mary. So we'll, I guess, delve into that.
Great
one
movie.
Oh, it's an excellent movie.
Fantastic movie.
If you haven't seen it, get yourself to the theater to watch it.
Yeah, and that's one I can say for myself that the soundtrack just hit so much harder after seeing the movie. It was very good.
Yes.
But I don't want to go into detail about that because we're going to talk about that. We're also going to hit on Send Help, which is one I saw the movie for this, the Sam Raimi film, and then I listened to the soundtrack afterwards. So you'll get my controversial thoughts on that as well. And then, Robert, you're covering Project Hail Mary.
I am going to cover it. I know we had it wasn't a mix-up. It was just Michael had some other ones he wanted to cover, so I'm covering Project Hail Mary. But I think it's really going to be a joint conversation today.
Yeah, I think I've got stuff to add. I know, Steven, you were saying some things that you want to add, so we'll all kind of participate.
Yeah, it's an exciting movie, exciting soundtrack, so I'm excited to talk about that. I know, Michael, you had something that's a bit of an interesting one. It's not a soundtrack per se, it's the Dune trailer soundtrack. It's the music in the Dune 3 trailer.
Very fascinated by it, so I want to share that with you guys, and then let's talk about it.
Yeah, and then we're going to have a revisit on our wildcard one that I believe Michael's going to talk about, so we'll get into that later. But starting off, anything outside of those main soundtracks that you guys have been listening to? There's this one that you recommended to me that I've listened to multiple times now while I've been working. I don't know if you want me to go into that or not, but I also saw the movie after listening to it.
And what is that one?
That is, I always mix up with the name, but it's Nick and Mike and oh my gosh.
Sally? No.
It's not Sally. Nick.
It's a Netflix film,
Mike,
right?
Sorry, Mike and Nick and Alice. That is the name of the movie.
I will never remember that.
I don't think anybody will.
Mike and Nick. These are two very similar names.
Yeah,
Mike
exactly.
It's because Vince Vaughn plays two characters. Is that right? Like
he plays
past and present version of himself.
Yeah, he plays exactly.
But wait, but wow. But he would be the same name though. It doesn't account for these four names.
No, it's listen to Steven again. Listen to Steven again.
Mike and Nick and Alice. So there's three people.
Right. Touche.
Yeah, Robert, you recommended that soundtrack to me because you thought it might be up my alley, and I did like it. It's good.
Yeah, it sounded kind of work at home electronic, and it's like
Exactly.
Totally Steven's vibe.
Yeah. But the movie, it was fun. I have to say the first half was pretty fun, and then it got a little goofy for me. But not the most memorable movie, but I enjoyed the soundtrack.
I haven't seen Vince Vaughn in anything in a long time.
I hadn't either, to be honest. It's been a minute, but he did a good job.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Everyone was good in that. James Marsden as well.
So how did that music compare to, say, like your standards for working from home? Like, it's not iRobot, but Mr. Robot. I know was
It
one
was
of
a bit
yours.
more ominous than I normally listen to, so it's like a
Oh,
bit of
interesting.
suspense. Yeah, so some suspense, action, ominous in there. But I enjoyed it. It's so funny because like I was watching it with my in-laws and my wife, and we, um, at the start, my mother-in-law said like, "Oh, that sounds like Stranger Things," and I'd already listened to the soundtrack, and it's got a little less electronic kind of influences,
Some
especially at the
80s
start.
synth.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So yeah, that was a fun surprise. Do we
It's
want to?
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, just on that, the Apple algorithm did not give it to me. Like, I think I found it somehow.
Mhm.
We're trying to solve for that problem of like, how do you find good music? And so far, I haven't found a product that gives you everything. I know there's like, we've got, some great resources like filmmusic.net, which has a list of what's coming out. That when we reviewed what music was coming out in April, Mike and Nick and Alice did not make it to the list. Did I get it right?
You did get it. Yes, that is correct.
That wasn't on the list, so it was a nice surprise when it
Shame,
popped
yeah.
up. Stumbled across it on Apple Music and
I'll
gave it
just
a
repeat
listen.
that title 100 more times and I'll remember it.
Or you will
Yeah.
just stumble over and it will end up being something crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'll wrong, misremember it more likely.
Yeah.
But Michael, you said you were listening to something outside of our usual as well.
Yeah, I've been listening to. I've listened a little bit. I've listened to the One Piece Netflix live action One Piece soundtrack, and it's one of the composers, Sonia Belusova.
Belasova from The Witcher
Yes.
season 1.
Yep. And let's see. There's the
Is it
two
just
seasons.
her, or does she have her co-composer for
No,
The Witcher as
she
well?
has a co-composer, Giona
Mm-hmm.
Ostinelli, and they both
Yep,
scored.
same duo.
There's each season is the second season introduces themes that are different but still have feel in place, which is really really cool and refreshing. Like it didn't repeat, it wasn't too repetitive or anything. It was really, I found it to be a really refreshing score. Great show too. But
Do you remember
yeah,
The Witcher season 1 soundtrack at all? Were there any
I
similar
do.
sonic vibes between the two?
I mean, this is what I'll say. Sonic, no, but there are. What I do notice, and this is something I noticed, the difference between Witcher season 1 and season 2, and I liked season 1 better because it's like those composers committed to um an iconic theme and weren't afraid to go into that theme sometimes. And it's almost like the second
Mm-hmm.
season was almost like afraid to fully commit to it, and like we'd hear hints of it, but then I was like, no, I want to, it's okay to go lean all into that at certain
Yeah.
moments. And I noticed about One Piece is the same kind of thing. They really are not afraid to go all in on a theme and let that theme play through, even throughout at different moments in the soundtrack.
Is the score as quirky as the show?
Yeah, I mean it's very up, like the main theme and everything feels very uplifting, exciting adventure.
Very lighthearted adventure.
I mean, there's definitely some heavier episodes or moments of the show, but and the themes certainly reflect that. But it has a good balance. It's not afraid to go all in any direction, and it still
That's
maintains that hopeful, uplifting feel throughout.
And they did both seasons of One Piece
They
so
did,
far?
yeah. Like I said, season 2 introduced some new themes, which was really cool, that were unique, but still felt like a part of the rest of it.
That's interesting because I know Witcher season 2 was Joseph Trapeznese, and he actually did Mike and Nick and Alice soundtrack.
Which was another reason I sent it to you, Stephen, was because I know you're a Trapanese fan.
Yes, he did Shadow and Bone, which I did like especially season 1, that soundtrack.
And we also learned in the course of our soundtrack scores journey that he was involved in Tron Legacy, which is a nostalgic classic for us.
Oh yeah. Yes, he was the partner to Daft Punk, so he came in with the kind of the orchestral experience that Daft Punk didn't have. That's a really
awesome.
Interesting story. We actually have a video about that on their channel, so check that out. Well, Robert, do we want to get into Project Hail Mary?
Let's. I think it's going to be an out there conversation.
No pun intended.
Oh, it's very much intended. So we're going to listen to the track God Willing from Project Hail
Which is
Mary.
number what?
Track 23. I do believe this is from the part where Ryland Grace, the main character. Well, actually, I don't want to do too many spoilers, but I believe this is from the part where Ryland Grace is speaking to the director about the odds of the mission to some extent.
Got it.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
It's about a minute 33. Figured we'd listen to the whole thing. And then,
cool.
oh man, there's a 7-minute track that I really want us to listen to. That
I know
is
exactly
one of
what
the
you're talking
coolest
about. I think I know
pieces
exactly
of
what-
music
yep.
I've ever heard.
It's the fishing one, right?
Time Go Fishing.
Yes,
Yep.
Time Go Fishing. Holy
One of
smokes.
my favorite 2 tracks.
One
That
of
one
the
and one
best
right
tracks
after that,
I've
my
ever
2
heard.
favorites.
I think
Yeah.
I was gonna say that to me was comparable to No Time for Caution, and it's like
Yes.
a
Right,
similar
yes, exactly.
feeling.
It
Yep.
is. It's a
That
similar
one and the
moment
one
in the
that
story.
follows.
It's the
Mhm.
most Interstellar-like of any track on the soundtrack in a good way. Like, it's very different. I know we're going off a little bit here, but I've seen, if you go on Instagram, there'll be clips of this scene with No Time for Caution over it.
Huh.
And it's like,
Oh, nice.
that's cool, but this track works here so much better. It's a nice nod to one of the, Interstellar is obviously like the greatest space soundtrack ever. But I'm going to make a crazy claim, actually, before we jump into Project Hail Mary. 2026 is going to be an amazing year for the movies. That's crazy claim number one.
Yeah.
That's not crazy.
We've already started off with Project Hail Mary, but we have some of the biggest
And my 2
directors
favorite directors dropping films this year.
dropping films.
So.
Well, yeah, we've got Spielberg coming back with John Williams to do Disclosure Day in June. We've got Nolan doing The Odyssey with Ludwig Göransson, who's quickly inserting himself into one of the greats, right? I mean, he's just banger after banger. Won the Oscar with Sinners.
He did.
And then Dune, of course, Denis Villeneuve is doing Dune Part 3 with Hans Zimmer. And my prediction is come December, after we listen to Dune, we are going to be talking about whether Project Hail Mary's soundtrack was the best of the year after all 4 of these movies have come out by the end of the year.
I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to call it and say it is.
The best soundtrack of the year.
I think
Steven's
so.
saying. It's going to be John Williams, Ludwig Göransson, and Hans Zimmer in the same year.
I'm just going to say it right here. That's my prediction. Project Hail Mary.
Do you think it takes the Oscar in 2027?
No, but I think it is going to be the best one this year. I just something later in the year will take the Oscar, I think.
It always happens that way.
You have a prediction on what, Steven?
Potentially The Odyssey. I think will probably be a good contender.
See,
Dune won't, because I don't think they have that. I don't think they allow that.
It'll be too many repeat themes.
Okay,
Dune Part
on
3.
that note,
this is
I have a hunch. Okay, I have a hunch that we won't have that problem this year because if a couple reasons. One, if the trailer is any indication, I really feel like we heard some hint at what the sonic identity of that score, and it does feel like it's been more different from the previous 2, as Dune Part 2 was from Dune Part 1. And the other reason is because that book is a tone shift. It's very different than the first book, and it was apparently kind of jarring, when they were coming out to readers, from what I understand. And
because this is Dune Messiah, right?
This is Dune Messiah, and Dune Parts 1 and Parts 2 were both both covering the Book of Dune. And again, that the going from Dune to Dune Messiah there's a lot that feels very different, and so I think the soundtrack is going to reflect that. I mean, Dune Part 2 did introduce some new stuff, and I personally feel it has a different sonic identity for me than the first one. But the Academy does not seem to agree. But beside the point, nobody's calling me to ask my opinion. I do think I do have a hunch that Dune Part 3 will qualify for the Oscars. Let me put it that way. I don't know that it's going to win. I genuinely, like, if I had to choose between, I don't know anything about the Spielberg movie, but at the very least, the other 3 we mentioned, if I had to choose between those 3, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what I would choose. It might just be a preference thing, what I'm in the mood for,
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Yep. We'll let the listeners decide on Project Hail Mary. We'll give them a taste. Here's what I'm suggesting. I think we listen to the first minute of God Willing, just because I think it does encapsulate some of the themes of the show, but then after, raving about Time Go Fishing, start at the minute 50 mark, and we'll listen to another minute there.
All right.
Down.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to start, God willing.
I've heard this entire score multiple times. It's beautiful.
Love the choir. Or the soloist, I guess.
Yes. Very chamber music.
Making a stop there. So good.
I almost
also,
didn't stop. I was still listening.
Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention to the music. I was like, oh, I gotta stop.
Did not feel like a minute. It just, you get engrossed in that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay, so what I love is that so apparently I think Ryan Gosling recorded a video message for the astronauts on Artemis 2 or something. And I also know
That's
that they
amazing.
at one point when one of the astronauts was describing what they saw to mission control, the mission control person responded, just quoted, "Amaze, amaze, amaze."
I saw that. It's so cool. I mean,
Ryan Gosling's now the official spokesperson of NASA.
I know, right? But I think they all got to watch the movie while they were in their prep quarantine for the mission, which was cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Like, was that ahead of time?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, it was still in theaters at the very least. I don't know when exactly that happened, but yeah, it was.
Talk about a pump up film.
I know, right?
Such an uplifting.
If you've not seen this movie, it's like a breath of fresh air. I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I'm so tired of nihilistic movies and the theme of nihilism in movies that's so prevalent. This is the opposite of that. So go see it. It's very hopeful and uplifting. Great film.
Yes, and I will say, just incredible writing by Drew Goddard. Who is one of my favorite writers in Hollywood. He had me guessing. I hadn't read the book. I know the book's supposed to be phenomenal, but I had no idea how it was going to end up to like 20 minutes. I mean, until it ended, honestly. I was like, how the heck is this going to end? And he like, it was twist after twist after twist after twist. Or perhaps eucatastrophe after eucatastrophe, and I won't ruin the end.
I just started reading the book today, actually.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
I know. So I'm excited to dive into that.
And Daniel Pemberton, I think he's a bit of an underrated composer.
Underrated at this point.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to last long. I think it's going to be very rated. I think he's starting to become more visible.
I think so.
Yeah. I'll take the stance. I think he takes the Oscar from Williams, unless they give it to Williams for lifetime achievement. That's the only way he loses to Göransson and Zimmer. I think Pemberton's going to get it for this. But yeah, I know you've been a huge fan of Pemberton's for a long time, Stephen.
Yeah.
So this is justice.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, he just keeps popping up with very different movies and very different soundtracks, and I really admire that about him. It's something Hans Zimmer back in the day, before I feel like he had the Hans Zimmer sound, is just phenomenal at.
Yeah.
Are
you saying Pemberton has his sound?
I don't think I think maybe at points, but I feel like he is pretty he's got a pretty diverse genre in his discography.
Yeah, there was a while there I was listening to his score for King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, the Guy Ritchie film, which is sort of electric medieval. It's a pretty cool soundtrack. And then I know you were a big fan of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Voice. Let me try that again. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was a great score.
Oh, yeah. And he did, I'm blanking on the name. I'll find it in a second. But he did the one that I listened to was a couple years ago, Fly Me to the Moon. He did that one.
Oh, what a difference.
He did that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I've been listening to that. I didn't really. I forgot that was him.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, he's
So they hired him for the sequel too.
Yeah,
Fly Me Past the Moon.
And yeah,
My goodness, Robert. My goodness.
yeah. But yeah, he's in
I'm getting old, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had a pretty good discography, and I think he's going to just go up and up. From
Man
from U.N.C.L.E. He did that as well.
Oh, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
that's a blast from the past.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah,
so he's paid his dues for sure. And
I was.
Go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say I was watching this interview with him. I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing. Like, it's 50 minutes long. I've only watched like a few minutes of it, and he was talking about a couple things. One, apparently Ryan Gosling would play some of his like temp drafts in his earpieces while he was acting.
And cool.
Probably while he was doing the more solo stuff in the ship. And then also apparently so there's those tracks where it has almost like I think it's called a wood block or something, those like wood tapping sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think the directors originally wanted him to score the entire film with a wood block, and he was like, I don't think that's gonna work. But it did certainly make its way into the score for sure. But I thought that was really interesting. Like, that's bold. But
that is incredibly bold.
Yeah,
it is.
It's the same directors as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Lord and Miller, I believe. Christopher Miller and Philip Lord.
Yeah, the Lego movie, the Jump Street movies.
Yeah, they're great. And such a different film for them, but good for them for doing this. And to your point, Michael, the instruments he chose for this were fascinating. Like, it's so varied all the way throughout the film.
Yeah,
you notice the soundtrack watching the movie, but in a good way. It's not like this doesn't fit. It's like, I'm being sucked in by this incredible score. It's quirky at times when you're dealing with the woodblock or the alien. I believe, and shout out to, I was reading a review by Xanobard Reviews, good soundtrack review. He was talking about a specific type of instrument that he used for this score, which is like some old, I think, 1920s electronic instrument. I can't remember the name. It's like an Ona's Martinot, I think, might be the name of it. But yeah, all credit to Xanobard for that. I had no idea, but just really cool. And then you got chamber choir throughout. You got electronic sounds. You've got soaring strings. Just themes through. Just incredible.
Yeah, glass harmonica as well. I did have to look that one up. It's such an interesting looking instrument.
Nice. And then the choir too. You've got that incredible, ethereal, heavenly sound we listen to on God Willing. But then you also, I'm sure you've seen clips around social media of the choir doing some of the more quirky pieces. I think specifically there's one, something maneuver towards the beginning, and they're doing
erratic maneuver.
Erratic maneuver at the beginning they're like watching their facial expressions and their body motions as they're doing this really weird human voice sound. Is so cool. It's so neat to watch composers just in their element.
Oh yeah.
Bringing the soul to a film.
Yes. Truly good.
So, not gonna lie, I'm itching to listen to part of this Time Go Fishing.
Let's do it.
What time code did you
in
say?
The theater, when I was listening to this track, like, my wife and I were like tapping to it. Like, this was amazing.
Yeah, it's 28, track 28.
Track 28, time code 150. I think this will give you a sense, at least. And we'll listen to it for a minute. This is a 7-minute track. It's amazing. Let's do it. Here's Time Go Fishing from Project Hail Mary.
So right.
Love all the textures in this.
Yes. Great theme.
Love it.
And I'm running down the street.
All those strings. hurt to stop.
And it's just gonna keep building, which is crazy.
I
The first time I listened to it just on the soundtrack, I was like, and it's gonna die down. And nope, the amazingness keeps building and the anxiety because of the scene that it's in. Which like all the way through the track, I was like, wow, like this is intense. So good. So Daniel Pemberton, hats off. I'm rooting for you for the Oscar 2027.
Yes.
Same. I am too.
All right, segueing into a very different score. I listened to Send Help. Now this, I did see the movie, which it was a well done movie. It's not my favorite movie by any means, but if you don't know the premise, it's basically about this jerk of a CEO that gets marooned on an island with his employee who he treated like crap, and so the CEO is Dylan O'Brien, and the main character, the employee, is Rachel McAdams. She did a phenomenal job, by the way. Very different character from anything I've seen her do before. Very quirky. But I have to be honest. I mean, this soundtrack is by Danny Elfman. Long time.
Another one of your classic favorites.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
I'm seeing a Spider-Man trend in your life, Stephen.
I am a Spider-Man fan. If that's no secret, though. But I collaborated with Sam Raimi. Definitely not my favorite Danny Elfman soundtrack.
But that first track we listened to in January was crazy, right?
That first track is amazing, and it's obviously very much kind of how we predicted. It's early on in the movie, kind of the life before. But golly, it just gets more intense. I do want to play. I want to play a little bit of two tracks. I do want to play a sample of Linda at Home. I'm going to find the timestamp for that because there's something really interesting that Danny Elfman does do with the soundtrack that I appreciated that I'll explain after we listen to these two tracks.
It wouldn't be a Sam Raimi film if it didn't get more and more horrific as it went on, right?
Oh, certainly. It was you could tell his fingerprint was all over it. For sure. So first one we're going to listen to is the first 30 seconds of the track Linda at Home. And I want you to listen to the vocals of this one because we're going to compare it to the vocals in another track, which is towards the end of the movie, called Home Invasion. While you're pulling that up, it's... Well, okay, so I do want to do a mild spoiler alert here before... if you haven't seen Send Help and if you don't want spoilers, maybe skip this section because I am going to talk a little bit of spoilers with this.
But I can't skip it. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, are you guys ready for the first track?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is Linda at Home. We're just going to do the first 30 seconds. Pay attention to these vocals coming up.
Love that piano.
Yeah, and I love how the wind instrument and the vocals are like duetting with each other.
Okay, so you get the gist of that. You get the vocals, very kind of hopeful, but kind of a little bit not mysterious, but something there. Now we're gonna listen to Home Invasion from 1 minute and 10 seconds to probably 1 minute 40.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah, it's still there. Whoa.
In cue.
Okay, I love that so much.
Very creepy, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whimsical to hellish.
All right, we can cut it down.
Okay.
So
I know I wanted to watch this film. I still do. Although I'm kind of afraid to.
I can avoid spoilers if you'd like.
Tell me.
So
this is one of those films I want a heads up. Things.
Well, okay, just the mild spoilers for here.
Sure. Basically,
the main character starts out very innocent and kind of loses some of her innocence further on as she has to survive essentially. But so Danny Elfman actually wanted the sound to reflect the character's transformation, and so he wanted to start with that innocent theme and use a female voice, which he took inspiration apparently from Rosemary's Baby.
which is a creepy devil movie.
Yeah, so then he later added a dark and sinister quality to the same voice, which was like the twisted version of the main theme as things got more intense. So I thought that was really interesting, and I saw that I think before I listened to the soundtrack, and then I listened to it, and I listened for that voice, and that's what you get. So it's a very good reflection of the character.
That the second time is mechanically changed, or versus somebody singing that way?
Based on this article, it's a Wikipedia article for the soundtrack. It's saying that he added a quality to the same voice. So I think he probably added those kind of horror instrumentation sounds in there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's an interesting take.
So is it a nihilistic film or an uplifting film?
It's not uplifting. It's got a strange message to it. I don't want to spoil too much.
It sounds very much like Lord of the Flies, but with adults.
Yeah, I'd say it's somewhat.
Okay.
It's definitely a morally gray ending.
I'm sure. Yeah, I expect nothing less.
Yes, but yeah, that was my my soundtrack. I would not recommend this if you're trying to just get some background music that you SWAT to chill out with. It's intense. It's got those horror elements.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, of course. All right, Michael, what do you got for us?
So this is a cover of the soundtrack in the Dune trailer, Dune Part 3 trailer. And they also, this YouTube composer, Rolf Mayer. There's a couple of covers I listened I like of this song, but it's really interesting because they were able to use the chanting vocals, I believe, from the trailer. But I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer, but it's got these like Timothy Chalamet's Paul Atreides has this chant throughout the trail that kind of carries through the trail. It's really, really interesting. I think this film will be more different from the other two than the first one was from the second one. So you want to just give it a listen?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Sure. Beautiful.
Do you know what he's saying?
I believe it's in the Fremen language.
Cue the epicness.
We can pause it there.
Wait, this is my favorite part.
Okay.
It's like we got 10 seconds left. Okay.
All right.
I am satisfied. That was cool. Thanks, Michael.
Will this finally win him the Oscar, Timothy Chalamet?
Chalamet. He's
I
too
don't know.
young to win an Oscar.
I forget he's like my age. I keep thinking he's like 19.
Is he really? Is he in his 30s already?
Yes.
Wow. He does look like he's 19.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that sounded like Timothy Chalamet, so I assume
Yeah.
Rolf
Oh, no, I think
Meyer
it was,
took his voice and isolated it and then played his music behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be curious to know if that's going to be in the movie and if it's going to have any kind of musical backdrop or if it's just going to be chanting. That'll be interesting to see.
I'd be shocked if that chanting is not in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, this will be an interesting movie. But I digress.
You don't think that chant is going to be in the movie?
I do think it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if it's going to have any kind of musical backdrop in the movie, or if it's just going to be.
I would love if it's a situation kind of like the Hanging Tree from.
Yeah,
because I am such a sucker for that. Like,
yes,
also Pippin's song.
Yeah,
a great example.
You're probably 100% right.
So much, yeah. So I'm calling it now. So
I was going to say we'll repost it when they do that, and Michael is 100% right.
I can be vindicated.
Keep the receipts.
Yeah.
It reminded me the chant style they went with, because obviously they're creating music for a fictional world, right? It reminded me a lot of the haka from New Zealand.
Oh yeah,
the way that the Maori do their haka before, previously before war, and then now it's oftentimes the All Blacks, the rugby team, doing it before a match.
No, do you think Hans Zimmer had anything to do with this chant?
I mean, I'm sure it was a collaboration, especially if it plays in with the music.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if he did draw inspiration from the haka.
Does Hans Zimmer have a tie to it?
No, but I feel like he does, research and, he'll pull from random things sometimes.
And he did one of the other great chants in cinema history from The Lion King.
I thought you were going to say from Last Samurai. He's also
Is there a cool chant in Last Samurai?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's a good soundtrack, too.
Listen to the soundtrack. It's such a great soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. I
we digress.
Yeah.
But a good digression. But back to Dune, Michael.
I'm very curious to see how this soundtrack sounds and feels. I'm kind of hoping, I don't know, I'm missing. So, after the first Dune came out, Hans Zimmer dropped like 2 extra albums. I'm like, come on, I wish he was like bored and making more Dune music. Can we get some filler albums to tide us over? But
probably do one after this one.
Yeah, but no, it's like I didn't get one after Dune 2. So no, I want some before Dune 3, and then another set of soundtracks after Dune 3.
Yeah.
But do I have to go?
I'm sure Hans Zimmer has already signed on for the entire series, no matter who directs.
Yeah,
I know he's a big fan of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Pipe dream to direct the God Emperor of Dune.
Is that the one you hated?
That's as much as I loathe that character so much.
Yes,
I digress. Again.
Is that the one you were reading and you hated?
David, my brother, had to listen to me just rant about that character every time we talked, which was frequently.
And yet you want to direct this film?
Yes, I was joking with him. I was like, yeah, it'd be in some, version of reality where I direct this film, and my contract, I'll have it where we have to have a rage room with a breakable sculpture of Leto II as the worm for me to just just take out my.
You might need it to be unbreakable so you can keep hitting it.
Yeah.
No. It would be replaced every week, so I'd have a new or every day, depending on how much I need to use it.
That's awesome. So you're looking forward to Dune Part 3, I take it.
I am. No, I do want to. I play this filmmaking game most weeks, and I do want to recreate a scene from God Emperor in the books, and that would be a lot of fun.
There you go.
That would be awesome.
Well, do we want to get into your wild card, Michael?
My wild card.
It is one that we predicted the sound of, but it's Dracula, the recent Dracula.
Oh yes.
Movie. Also Danny Elfman, by the way.
You've been listening to it, right?
I have. So this is interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, can I call myself a soundtrack nerd at all? Because I didn't know the soundtrack existed until I was editing a short film for my friend, and she sent me a track from this score for reference for music, and I'm like, wait, you just sent me a track that I have not heard of? What is going on? So,
and clearly a track that made an impression.
Yeah, I listened to the score, and it was really cool. So, the track that that she sent me was called Asylum. It was number 3, and yeah, I was listening to the score. I'm like, this is a vibey score. I like it.
Now, would you
Who
say
wrote
this
the
is
music,
was
Michael?
Danny Elfman?
Danny Elfman.
Now, I was gonna say, would you say this is leaning more Sam Raimi, Danny Elfman style, or Tim Burton style, Danny Elfman? Because he has like because they'll have like
Sam
horror stuff, or okay.
Well,
Or
Sam Raimi also did Spider-Man. Don't forget.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more
That's the exception. Yes,
it's more like tonally atmospheric, but also like intense, like darker.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
I'm looking forward to listening to it. I like a good period piece. It tends to have good music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting album artwork. Cool.
I know it's really cool.
Got the fang.
It looks. Yep. And it looks so cool.
Yeah.
They've done so many Dracula movies lately, though. I'm also just like another one.
Probably won't beat Hotel Transylvania, but
No, I'm not expecting that. Nosferatu, though, was one of my top tracks from last year.
That's right. Yeah.
That was 2024. Wow. Jeez. That's crazy.
That was not last year. That was the year before last year.
Yep.
Wow.
Wild.
Time flies. Getting old. All the above.
But we're having fun and listening to good music. Time flies when you're listening to good music. I haven't heard a violin played like that in a while. That's fun.
I know, right?
Textures are interesting.
I know.
There's a most replayed section coming up. I'm excited.
I guess we'll just listen to the whole track.
We can go to 2 minutes at least.
Yeah. There's so many like turns in this track.
Yeah.
It's like the third one.
YouTube shows a spike in volume right there. That did not happen.
It was very... I think that's the most replayed section.
That's what that means. Yeah.
All right.
What do I know?
So yeah, that was
definitely different than Nosferatu for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely foreboding, like you mentioned. No real theme, although I did enjoy how they played the violin. I was trying to think back to where the last time I'd heard it played like that was, and it's been a minute. It reminded me more of the early 2000s films.
Yeah, that's true.
Which Danny Elfman is a veteran.
Oh, for sure.
That's cool. Did you watch the movie, Michael?
I have not, no. Like I said, I didn't know this movie existed. I didn't know the soundtrack existed. And
watching
I'm
the
shocked
trailer, it looks kind of fun.
I have to give it a look.
Luke Besson.
I think I would have heard about it if it was really good, but it may be worth an evening when you'd rather do that than scroll your phone.
It's fair.
Low praise
at the same
there.
time as people do.
Yeah, that's a
low bar.
I know, for real. It's like I don't know if I'd call that a compliment.
Don't hate me, Danny Elfman. You didn't write the movie. And I might watch it and love it. I probably should now.
Well, moving
Thanks,
on to
Michael.
some April soundtracks. So we were planning to record this earlier in April, but a lot of these have already come out. So I'm going to start with mine. So I did not listen to this full soundtrack, I must admit, but it was Super Mario Galaxy was the soundtrack that came out.
Okay.
I meant to listen to the whole thing, but I just I couldn't really get through it because I feel like I'm not the type of person that could appreciate this because I wasn't really big into Mario Bros. But it's definitely had, the tonal theme of the first movie of the games. I think there was some of the classic themes in there. Someone with more experience with Nintendo and Mario, I think should weigh in on this and let us know if this actually used themes from. I know Yoshi appeared in this movie, but yeah, I'd love to hear it. But
It must have, being just
It's-
such an iconic piece of IP.
yeah,
And Brian Tyler's, a great composer in his own right.
he is.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come up later when I mention my three loves, actually.
Ah, there we go.
Yes.
Spoilers. No.
Spoiler alert.
One other note, I mean, just around the Mario Galaxy movie, I have not seen it yet. I actually haven't heard any reviews about it. But I know people were complaining a little bit that they changed Mario's signature laugh, or
Yahoo!
I think it's his Yahoo.
Okay. I mean, I saw the first one, and it was
Chris
interesting.
Pratt voicing him, right?
Yeah, which I honestly thought was going to take me out of it when I first saw the first one, but you get used to it, and he does do the classic voice in one part. It's kind of a nod,
Neat.
I guess. Yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
Okay. Well, what are we
saw the
listening
second
to? Actually, Michael's next on the agenda here.
Yeah, I'm
And
really
I am
curious.
Very curious with his.
Yes.
Okay, so I bet you guys could not guess how this one sounds, and
I bet
there's no other way.
I have an inside source of someone who did see the movie, so I could guess.
Okay. I have not seen the movie, and don't tell me anything about it. My friend saw it, and her comment was, "Do not go in completely blind. Like, don't look up anything." So I don't want to know anything about the movie.
They've done a good job not spoiling anything in any of the promos I've seen. Like you
That's
look
the thing.
at it,
I
and
saw
you're
like
like,
one.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
looks
no, I saw one
interesting.
trailer, and I'm like, I genuinely have no idea what this movie is going to be about. But yeah,
if
so
you're
don't tell me
very
anything.
If you're very confused, we're talking about the drama, by the way. I don't think we said the
I don't know
name.
if we announced
Sorry.
it
Yeah, I'm a great podcast co-host here.
yet. There you go. Who's in the drama? That's what made the drama around the drama is who's in the drama.
It is
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson.
and Robert Pattinson. Yes.
Twilight
of whom
meets
we
Spider-Man.
do.
Zendaya is having an incredible year for projects.
She's
I know.
had an incredible
Yeah,
few
dude.
years now,
Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, Robert Pattinson too. He'll be in
and
it
him
as well
too.
this
Man,
year.
I am so glad he redeemed his career.
Oh, very impressed with
Because he
him.
disappeared for a hot minute there after Twilight. I
He
feel
disappeared,
Yeah.
and then he came back slowly, just doing all indie movies. I think he's just trying to completely separate himself.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then Nolan picked him up, right?
Mhm.
And the Batman.
Yep.
But I think was Tenet the first thing I saw him in, where I was like, "Whoa, this guy can."
That was for me. That was the first one. No, or maybe it was the King. Was the King first?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
it was.
He was.
Yeah,
in The
it
King.
was.
What a great film.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it was
underrated,
great.
and that soundtrack's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
So the
Yeah,
soundtrack is
tell us.
only 21 minutes long,
Whoa.
and there's 15 tracks, and literally we just need to listen to the first one.
Okay.
I'm really curious because
Any guesses on what this will sound like?
I can't say, but I can say what one thing I did hear about it.
Okay.
One note.
Okay.
One note. Okay.
Mhm.
The
So what are
only
we
thing I could
listening
think of vibe-wise, like looking at, I didn't see any of the trailers, but just the ads reminded me of Silver Linings Playbook.
Mm.
Do you guys remember that
interesting.
film?
I can't remember.
Jennifer
the music.
Lawrence and Bradley Cooper.
I didn't
also
see
don't
that.
remember the music. So I'm just expecting
Yeah.
the music to kind of be your typical chick flick music. I don't think
Well,
this
let's
will
listen and we'll
will
see.
stand out.
Michael,
So
what
just
track?
listen to the first track, the drama, the first track.
Okay,
Is it Daniel Pemberton?
it is.
Yep, it's Daniel
You're
Pemberton.
joking. We needed to talk about this, guys. You can't do that to me. It's Daniel Pemberton.
So we're going from Project Hail Mary to this, so it's going to be very interesting.
Wildly different. Wildly different.
Okay. I am locked in, and yeah, this looks fascinating.
Solo, like oboe? Not oboe.
Something like that.
Solo woodwind.
Ooh. Ah.
Easy job after Project Hail Mary, I guess.
I know, right?
You say that, and sometimes simpler is harder.
Yeah.
That's different.
A little.
It's a different octave, though.
It's also stereo sound and switched to my left ear.
Wow, that was fascinating.
Wow. So, two thoughts. One, Michael, if it's only 21 minutes, is the entire soundtrack this way?
Very similar.
Fascinating. And secondly, after our Project Hail Mary discussion, I was like, he took this whole soundtrack on a wood block idea and said, guys, I have this brilliant idea. We're gonna do this entire soundtrack with one instrument and two notes.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's like, oh, Chris and Phil, that's not going to work for this movie. I'm going to borrow that idea, though.
Yes.
my wife saw this movie and she said the soundtrack is like one note. Like
That's
the whole time.
wild.
Yeah.
Did she like the movie? I'm curious.
I think she liked it all right. Yeah, she was interested.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's the kind of, maybe it's just because we just listened to Project Hail Mary and we know what Daniel Pemberton is capable of, but I'm like, it's impressive. That you can restrain yourself to that. That's part of it.
Yeah, for
the fact
real.
that you're like, here's your budget, write us a soundtrack, and you're like, one instrument.
I mean, you have
notes.
to. It's definitely the director, I'm sure, pushing for this. What else does this director do? Oh, Dream Scenario. That's the one with Nicolas Cage.
Who's the director?
Christopher Borgli.
Worley?
Borgli. Borgli. He's pretty much just in A24 movies, it looks like.
It's also bold of the entire project to name your drama film The Drama.
I know.
People are going to come watch this movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have Pattinson and Zendaya, then
Yeah, exactly.
it doesn't matter what you title it.
Does it have the same energy as naming your protagonist the protagonist?
Don't get me started on that, because that's just lazy writing.
Yeah, totally.
No Nolan shade here.
He was totally just being lazy, because that's how he is, right? He just tried to take the quick shortcut.
No, he tried to overthink that. The movie's overthinking personified in writing. I'm not a fan of Tenet.
Gosh.
Clearly, we know.
Well, we won't.
I legit feel, Steven, I legit have felt gaslit by you the entire time since I saw Tenet, because I understood it fine. And the first time, and I'm like, am I missing something that I'm missing or something? I don't know. I was so confused.
I will say that movie is much better with subtitles. Watch it with subtitles. You'll understand a lot more. You'll catch a lot more.
Terrible sound mixing going, blasting your ears. You can't understand. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on to Roberts.
Don't get Steven started.
Yeah.
Yes, we have some buttons we can push with Steven.
We'll be here all night.
All right.
Yeah.
So mine is an anime film. I'm just kidding. That's one of
Steven's
Steven's other
very
buttons.
confused.
Steven's other button.
Yeah, hang up.
Steven rage quits.
People are going to come at you in the comments, Steven.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There's a score I've been listening to on repeat that has taken over my Project Hail Mary repeats.
Wow.
In April.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Daredevil Born Again Season 2 dropped in April. They only dropped the first
season 1.
Okay, so this is all the questions. It's very similar to season 1. It's very similar to season 1. And similar to season 1 and Andor, I don't know if I like this trend. I like that I get music before the show ends, but they released an album that's only episodes 1 through 4.
I don't like that.
So you get more music, but then at the end of the show, when I want to just listen to it all the way through to get like the themes and such, I've got to go album 1, album 2, maybe album 3.
Okay, pro tip: you just make a
Michael's
playlist of
like,
all
make
the
a
albums. I do
playlist.
this all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I do this all the time.
Do it yourself.
Not my first rodeo.
That's called shadow work, Michael, and it's what capitalism does to make you do extra work without paying you for it.
It takes 2 seconds.
It's the same thing with don't get me started on self-checkout stations at the grocery store.
Hey, I'm an introvert. I prefer that. I don't want to have to interact with somebody if I don't have to.
All right, so Daredevil. There's a big conversation here. A, that's got a big fan base. B, Born Again is the Disney Plus version of Daredevil. So Daredevil started, I don't remember what year, sometime in the teens. Season 1, season 2, season 3 on Netflix, and with the Defenders, which was like his Avengers season in the middle there, and all of his surrounding characters, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, having their own shows. Daredevil, the quality was far and away the best. I believe it was written by and showrun by Drew Goddard, also of Project,
I think so. At least
Project Hail Mary. The first season for sure was created by him. But another note about Goddard is he is a Catholic, similar to Daredevil, Matt Murdock. And so you get some really, I would say, authentic atmosphere and elements to the characters and the world that Matt Murdock and his character embody.
Does that carry over to Born Again?
Well, that is a good question. So the first 3 seasons before we get to Born Again are some of the best Marvel TV and storytelling I've experienced. Daredevil is the best story to come out of the Marvel universe, in my opinion. If you haven't watched the shows, watch them. They're gritty. Characters are great. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock is phenomenal. All the acting is great. Wilson Fisk, the bad guy, is Vincent D'Onofrio. Very different from his Jurassic World character. And then John Paisano does the music for the first 3 seasons, who did the Spider-Man game that I believe you're a big fan of, Steven.
Yes.
So the music is, credit roll, is one of those that I will generally not skip because the theme music is that good. And you can listen to those first 3 season soundtracks, and it's good heroic music. It's got the one complaint, however, is that theme that you don't skip at the beginning doesn't come back that often.
But when it does,
it makes an impact. That's right.
Yeah, which I would argue I would prefer that to the other way around,
Yeah, it is an interesting question of taste, because I will say, I've listened to the other soundtracks. I've in our newsletters, I rated all of them from the first 3 seasons. Really enjoyed them. They're more background listening music, like really good quality background listening music, I feel like, because the theme isn't there, and so it's harder to just from an acoustic sense understand the story. I think themes do that for you. Motifs and themes to tell you, okay, this character is here. And it's optimistic, or it's dark, or it's building for this character, and maybe they're interacting with another character, and you get those themes. I have a harder time following a soundtrack story without the themes playing. And to your point, when you're watching the show, Michael, I think it works really well. Like I said, best thing to come out of Marvel. But just listening to the music, I don't find myself going back to the first 3 soundtracks as often as I expected I would. So Disney Plus, after buying Marvel, Daredevil died on Netflix. Everybody was upset. They brought it back with Charlie Cox finally after a few years absence last year. I believe it was with the Daredevil Born Again, which I believe is based on the Born Again arc of the comics. And so going all the way back to your question, Stephen, I think they dropped a lot of his Catholicism that I think built through the first 3 seasons to season 3, which the Catholic imagery, which was not Drew Goddard, interestingly, I don't think, was a lot stronger. And the music, I think also, John Paisano's music also reached its fullest expressions in season 3. I loved Daredevil season 3. Born Again takes a different tack. It's like Daredevil is trying not to be Daredevil. And he has also fallen away from his faith. So he's not going to church. You don't get any priest characters. His mother, who had him and then became a nun, which you find out in season 3, is out of the picture at this point. So I think he talks about like the inefficacy of prayer. He's going through a crisis of faith in season 1. The show itself, I thought the story was excellent, but it was much darker Besides Wilson Fisk, you've got a serial killer villain. And they also, John Paisano didn't return. So we've got new composers, the Newton brothers, who I know very well from listening to The Haunting of Hill House over and over and over again. They apprenticed under Hans Zimmer. They scored all of like Mike Flanagan's horrors, Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass. I believe they worked on Before I Wake with Danny Elfman, and that's kind of where they got their break. But yeah, Hill House is some of my favorite cinema music of all time. You guys know that. They did work on the X-Men 97 TV show, and it was apparently that music that got them the Daredevil role. Now, their approach coming from horror is much smaller and not so like traditionally orchestral than John Paisano's, I would say, which I think it works really well in Daredevil Born Again, where he's sort of closed in on himself. He doesn't want to be Daredevil. He's sort of fallen away from his roots, his faith. The theme itself, though, so I had come out of season 1 being like I wanted more of his faith, being Catholic myself and loving, well, the things that come with Catholic music, which is choirs and organs and bells. I think I really want us to compare what they do to John Paisano's theme, knowing what I've just said about season 1. Let's do season 3 theme, and then we'll do Daredevil Born Again season 1 main theme. Daredevil season 3, John Paisano main.
I love this theme.
It's
so good.
We talk about those atmospheres and textures.
Strings. I do kind of like the heartbeat at the end too.
Oh,
it's
so
very
good.
in line with Daredevil's powers.
Yeah, it's one of the great openings of any like credit openings.
Sure.
It's up there with the Game of Thrones, I would argue, as far as just cool cinematics, like the graphics they do, the music's phenomenal. It's just great. So it's wonderful. And that's John Paisano, and he apparently got the role as the composer because this was his demo piece.
Wow.
This was his audition.
Really? Wow.
This music. Like, talk about crushing your audition.
Jeez.
For real.
There was obviously a lot of consternation in the fan base when it was announced he was not returning for Born Again, and the Newton brothers were doing it. From me as well. So Newton brothers come on, Daredevil Born Again starts, and I'm like, they kept the theme. It's a little different, but they kept it. It's wonderful. It's great. I didn't realize quite how different it is until I was doing some research into their approach, noticing like where Matt Murdock's at in his relationship with Daredevil and with God. I want us to listen to Daredevil Born Again season 1 main theme. So Daredevil Born Again main theme by the Newton brothers. Let's listen to their approach.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Choir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh. This is dope. I forgot how different they were.
me too. I was like,
Oh my
how did I not
god.
catch this?
I've never listened to them back to back. Like I knew they were different, but I've never listened to them back to back. Like, brilliant. dope.
Church bells.
Yeah. Now, is the intro different? The visuals?
It is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It's the same style, but it is a little bit different. It's
Okay.
but again, like I was like, oh yeah, all the notes are the same. It's the theme. Great. And then I listened to season 2 and then started doing some research for this bit, and I was like, their approach, like who Matt Murdock is and his Catholicism are all in their music, even though it's missing in the story. It's like so cool. It's more epic, but it's also a little disjointed at the beginning, and the different atmospheres, like a lot more textures, more dissonant strings where you're like, I hear your horror roots in that opening.
You know what's interesting too is I feel like John Paisano's almost, I want to say he probably did a lot of electronic, orchestration in that one. Like it sounds like he might have done it on a keyboard or synthesizer, whereas this feels, I know you said it's more like intimate and smaller, but it feels bigger. There's just more to it, I feel like. Which is really interesting. That was really cool comparison.
And the Newton brothers, they do take that theme and deploy it in various ways throughout the show much more often, especially in season 2. So the season 2 first 4 episode album, I have been literally listening to on repeat. It's phenomenal. They also like gave a theme to Daredevil and Matt Murdock and Fisk and Mayor Fisk and Kingpin Fisk. You get a lot more themes interacting with each other. I have to say, I think they've won me over.
I need to check out Daredevil Born Again at some point.
It's worth it.
It's really good. Here's the thing. The first season, the first couple episodes are really solid. The middle is not as strong.
I agree.
But then they land it. It's interesting. I think they brought back some of the original writers of the Netflix show were involved in the first couple of episodes and the last couple episodes. But even so, the weaker episodes are still pretty solid. And some of them almost feel like the only issue I had with them was more so like, oh, this episode could stand alone. You know what I mean? It doesn't really,
interesting.
It's
not necessarily like filler episodes. It's more.
It's not so much filler, but it's also like it could have, progress the story more. Sure. I felt like, but it was still enjoyable because even by itself, it was still entertaining and enjoyable.
And the moment when he puts the suit all the way on again and the score comes roaring back in season 1 is just like,
oh my gosh.
So good.
Yeah.
Before we go, I do want to do my first 3 soundtrack loves.
Yes.
If you've been watching or listening to the soundtrack, we know Michael did his. And then Robert did his first 3 loves. So now it's time for mine. And it's interesting because I don't exactly remember the first soundtrack I listened to. I would venture a guess it was something that, Robert, you might have introduced us to at some point or another. But I do remember one that stands out as one of the first, and we had it on CD. It was Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent soundtrack. Obviously, amazing movie. We used that, and I know in some of our home movies we would make back in the day. We did a whole like Olympics. We filmed our Olympics, and we used a Gladiator theme for our little intro theme. It was so that was one I know was
so good.
Yes, and very very well listened to.
A particular track that was on repeat.
I can't remember the name.
You don't have to look it up.
Yeah, it was one of the early tracks. I believe it was in the first battle. I know I listened to that.
Okay, yeah, that's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah, and then of course,
7-minute track.
Yeah. I think you're right. And then of course, Now We Are Free. The last song was Lisa Gerrard. Excellent soundtrack.
Classic.
So that was one of the early staples, I remember.
So good. I will say that soundtrack, just to interject, has grown on me over the 25 years it's been out.
Interesting.
Really? Interesting.
Even as amazing as it was, I think it's gotten better and better.
Yeah,
I wasn't as enthused about the second one, but I do still really love the first.
We don't need
what
to talk
second
about the
one?
second one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, moving on. I think this is one of the first soundtrack CDs I remember owning personally. I think my brother had Gladiator, but I remember I owned the Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl soundtrack on CD. And as much as I feel like Hans Zimmer really did an excellent job expanding those themes in the the second and third movies. The first soundtrack has the first of those classic themes, Claus Bedell, and I just love those. I mean, there's like I still remember the one when is it Will and Jack are with the canoe?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, classic.
And then later I would get the Lego Pirates game.
Oh,
And
wait, they have a Lego Pirates
they
game?
have a Lego Pirates game. It's so fun, and like the menu music is like that kind of chill theme, and it just
Amazing.
brought back so many memories. So yeah, that was I think probably the second one, and third, and I am leaving out an honorable mention here just because it's so obvious, but I'm gonna mention that after my third. My third one is the Timeline soundtrack by Brian Tyler. This is a movie I watched a bunch as a kid and also loved the soundtrack. We used it in so many of our movies.
What was the one particular spy action scene track that was used on every single one?
It's called Enter the Wormhole. It's the getting ready scene. Anytime anyone's getting ready, we had to have that music. Dun 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 dun. It's that's a very fun soundtrack.
It's one of the more
discovered.
Go ahead.
It's back before we discovered editing software. We would edit by rewinding the little tape recording camera to the spot where we wanted to cut.
A mini DV camera.
Yeah, that's where it's at. I feel like I remember you guys playing and using the Enter the Wormhole soundtrack on our movies because it was one of the more electronic tracks that I had heard up to that point.
Huh.
So maybe, and that is where your love for electronic work music.
It's very possible.
You started from.
Yes, because if you've listened to the soundtrack, you do know there are the electronic elements that take place in the present, and then the time travel element back in medieval times is a little bit different tonal. But we covered that actually I think last.
Yeah, we did a great piece on that in the January podcast, so go back and listen.
Yes. My honorable mention, of course, is Lord of the Rings. That was a big part of my childhood as well, the soundtrack. And I don't want to go too in depth because both Michael and Robert have talked about that. But one thing I will say,
we will because it's amazing.
Exactly.
I mean, all the themes are amazing, but I think what I've listened to probably the most is just anything in the Shire with the Hobbits. I love that, and I think for that reason, I think the Fellowship of the Ring is probably the standout soundtrack for me. Although Return of the King is a close second, I think. And a funny little anecdote before I end here. The last song, I think it's the last song on the Return of the King soundtrack, Into the West by Annie Lennox. The CD we had was scratched at that part. So for the longest time, it was like there was one lyric where she says "light on the water," and it would repeat. And so in my head, I hear that now. So I
remember that.
Yeah.
Like it was just light over and over again.
Yeah, it would like skip and be like light on the water, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Who scratched it?
Oh my god,
Daniel.
Yeah, right. That's obviously phenomenal trilogy of soundtracks, but I'll stop myself from talking too much about that.
No, that's really cool, Stephen. Obviously, we all grew up on many of those soundtracks together, but I really liked how you brought up Pirates of the Caribbean. The first one has those iconic tracks that you were talking about. You've got like Barbossa is Hungry doesn't appear again on any soundtrack, and what a phenomenal track. But then also Fellowship,
so good.
Like you said, like it establishes all those themes, and they're sort of either at like some of their most nascent moments and going to grow, or like the ring goes south. Like you get that's like the only really full moment of the Fellowship altogether before it breaks. And then, of course, the breaking of the Fellowship.
Yeah. Oh, right? My gosh.
Like, I kind of agree with
Parth
you.
Gallon on the complete recordings.
Thank you.
Yep.
As you should be listening to. But I do have a soft spot for the edited versions as well.
Yeah. But, so that's are my three first soundtrack loves.
Is there one particular track you would say was your most formative track out of all of those, Stephen?
I gotta say, concerning Hobbits, it's just, I mean, it feels like to me, I know it's not the first track of the album, but it feels like the intro into the whole Middle Earth world for me. I think also because before I was allowed to see the full movie, I was allowed to see the Shire that whole Shire
Yeah.
sequence of the party. So it's from a very early age, the Shire.
You guys watched it piecemeal, right?
For a little bit, yeah.
For a bit there.
There's a while with like certain scenes we weren't allowed to see. Like
I do know by the time the Return of the King came out, I'd seen the other two fully, and I did see the Return of the King all the way through in theaters. So
Nice.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Stephen.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you've made it to this point, be sure to check out our channel. If there's, we've done a lot of videos in the past on specific scores or interesting moments in the making of soundtracks. And check out the other episodes we've already put out this year. Stay tuned for next time. We'll have more soundtracks I'm sure we'll be listening to and discovering. Thanks again.
Cheers.
Yeah.